Insperity published a study by Michelle Konkowski, a team manager and developmental specialist for new employees, and it concocted a list of best ways for a new employee to integrate themselves with old employees. She concocted a list of about 6 things, but I want to draw attention to one of those items. Item 5 perfectly describes what's going on with the Queenz Flip integration onto the Joe Budden's podcast. See, item 5 states that when a new employee comes, in order to have a harmonious transition, the new employee has to assimilate to the way of doing things that the old employee have. And you have to stress to the new employee that, there's a certain way of doing things that you have to fall in line with. Because once the new employee comes and try to set his own rules or try to change up how things is done, it creates resentment with the old employees, and they start to view the new employee as a threat. And Queenz Flip has been doing just that. He's came in, and instead of assimilating with the old employees, it's now him and Joe versus the rest of the employees. Case in point, Ice and Ish have contracts that are really specific. Live streams are not a part of that contract. So Queenz Flip and Ice got into it when Queenz Flip was asking Ice to hop on live stream on the Joe Budden network, and he had to set the boundaries of, live streaming is not in our contract. I'm not going to do it. Queenz Flip, on the other hand, is going to do whatever he has to do to kiss up to Joe, including doing live streams.
What'd you say, Flip?
Why you keep on that? We trying to fix it. We trying to go live on YouTube real quick for like 20 minutes with us.
If it's possible.
Hold on.
If it's
contract don't say nothing about no YouTube live.
Oh, all right. Well, I was just trying to do
I'm a
something.
businessman first. Hold on, slow down now.
Wait, I was just trying to do something special for the fans. Niggas get
On the whole page.
On his page, not mine.
You ain't get no extra. That's not no extra pay, right?
We got that.
But we still leaving early, so we still technically
Hey, yo, Ice.
a 30 to 40 minutes window.
Listen,
left.
I'm a businessman. My contract says nothing about YouTube live.
Hey, respect.
That's another conversation.
Huh? She's alright.
What are we talking about here? I don't remember anything about YouTube live being in the discussion.
Flip a hustler. So when Flip seen that these other co-hosts were a tad bit lazier or unwilling to do certain things, he said, bro, I'll do it. So then Flip and Joe started their own live stream show on the Joe Budden network without the other host. And their live stream show, the improv show, does more numbers than a regular podcast on YouTube. The back and forth with Ice during the live stream wasn't the only time that Queenz Flip went against regular customs and practices and chose the boss side over the employees. During another podcast episode, Ish and Queenz Flip got into it, and it got really heated because Ish felt like Queenz Flip was talking down to the employees and making it seem like they can't be real to Joe, and they can't tell Joe how they really feel, essentially saying they were fake around Joe. Ish took issue with that because Queenz Flip is the new guy. So what do he know about his relationship with Joe?
I can't ask you a
Like
question.
one of the Volt batteries.
Why do you think you the realest nigga breathing? I don't think that's what like, we gotta stop that. You act like you the fucking Don Dada, like everybody else up here is a fake nigga but you. You not the realest nigga in the room. Stop doing that. Like, you the go-to nigga like, yo, everybody else up here fronting except you. That's not the facts, my nigga.
So, obviously, the old employees are having enough of Flip sucking up to Joe. But that's still not the only example of Flip coming in, not trying to assimilate, trying to switch things up, and friendly up to Joe in spite of the other employees. Because just recently, another situation happened where Queenz Flip, Joe, and the other employees were on a live stream, and Flip suggested the time of the podcast, which accommodated Ish and Ice. He wanted that to be moved to an 8 a.m. slot that accommodates Joe more.
It's beautiful out here. Nah, it's a vibe.
Good morning, yo, Queenz Flip. We in the building.
I wish we could take like a summer off, like no pod for the summer.
That's if we come at 8 in the morning, yo. Listen, I'm trying to get 8 in the morning. He don't want to do 8 in the morning.
Who don't?
He don't want to do 8 in the morning.
Who don't?
I'm trying to get next year.
Who don't want to do 8 in the morning? Go. Come on, let's ask them if we could go in there, if we could record at 8 in the morning.
I would be here.
Ask them if they would.
Mel would be here.
Just go in there and say,
no, why you
for the summer, so we could get the most out of our day, why don't we start earlier, like 8 in the morning, so we could leave early. Hold on, I want to see it too.
Hey, y'all got a request, y'all. I got a request, y'all. Hey, I got a request. I need y'all to listen real quick. So, for the summer, so we get the best
the most of our day, why don't we come and record 8 in the morning?
So first off, the optics itself is bad because you have got Queenz Flip, the newest employee, standing up and talking down to Ice and Ish as if they're subordinates. He's talking down to them. Now, he's given orders to change up an entire program that he came into that was already set up to accommodate everybody else that was there prior to him.
Oh. Damn, for real. Ice. It's going to be hot.
I have a child.
Here you go, bringing up the kids.
They bring up the kids, nigga. It's life. It's life.
I'm not, no, I can't respond. I'm just saying, Ice, it's a summer.
I have responsibilities.
I don't know.
And we live far from here. That rush hour traffic be a bitch.
8 in the morning is not rush hour.
The summer's not bad, though.
8 in the morning is the epitome of rush hour.
Summer's not?
Rush hour traffic.
Exactly. Then you got a white man just talking.
I mean, 8's early, but...
Ice is clearly annoyed with Queenz Flip because Ice got a good thing going. And every suggestion that Queenz Flip make is to ruin the good thing that Ice has going. You see, Queenz Flip is supposed to come in as a new employee and assimilate and become one of the guys. But when you position yourself as somebody who is trying to climb the ranks and surpass them and cozy up to the boss, it's always going to come across as if you're bootlicking. And eventually, like, this rift is going to get larger and larger and larger. And eventually, Joe is going to be forced to pick between Queenz Flip or Ice and Ish. And I think we all know what decision Joe is going to make. And they know that too, which is going to deepen the resentment with Queenz Flip.
Hey, where you living?
Them niggas don't
You live in Brooklyn. You live in Brooklyn. Nigga, we take the New Jersey tram.
All that was fast.
So y'all need to hold on.
All right.
Listen.
Can I respond after you finish?
All the traffic.
They on his
going
ass.
to New York. Yes, nigga. Everybody in New Jersey that makes
So,
money working.
can I ask my brothers a question? My brothers
I
cannot
just told
leave.
him not
My
to
brothers
ask
cannot.
that.
My brothers out here early. Summer
You
lit.
not hear me? I have a child.
Ice.
My child come before.
I can't-
You must have signed a new contract somewhere that you gotta be there early, yo. No, he just.
Oh.
Now, Joe is sitting back while they're eating up each other. Now they're throwing accusations now, trying to make the other person look just as bad in Joe's eyes, right? Now, Ish is trying to plant a seed that maybe Queenz Flip sign another deal that Joe don't know about that requires that Queenz Flip gets there earlier than he usually do. So now Queenz Flip is trying to move the Joe Budden podcast around.
Get your ass out of here, nigga.
Wait, oh, nah, he probably. Nah, you. Yeah, I told you that shit wasn't gonna go well.
Man, come on, Ike. Come on.
I told you that wasn't gonna go right.
Stop staring at me.
Talk to your man so we can get in here. Hey.
He has a child. That is the primary.
I said, if that was, I'm saying that's important. If that wasn't the case, would you be able to come here at 8?
8 o'clock for us to get here. We literally got to leave home at like 6 something in the morning.
And record at 8? Would you be able? Would you be?
You heard what I said?
I'm saying, would you have been down for that? If Ice had no, if Ice responsibilities, which is very important. Say if that wasn't the case,
art.
Would you Ish be able to come here 8 in the morning?
It's my art you just dropped on.
Now recognize the dynamics here. Ice and Ish is sticking together. Ish is concerned with Ice having his daughter and Ice not being able to meet the schedule that Queenz Flip wants to implement. So Ish is sticking to it and saying, nah, bro, feel me, that's my guy. We're sticking together. Queenz Flip has positioned himself to where he's on the side of Joe, and it's Queenz Flip and Joe versus Ice and Ish. And this has been going on for a lot of very pivotal issues in regards to that unit. That's not a good look. In conclusion, I think the rift is going to keep getting bigger. And I believe that eventually Joe is going to be tasked with having to choose between Ice and Ish and Queenz Flip. And I think we all know that Joe is probably going to pick Queenz Flip because Queenz Flip, you know, has brought more to offer in terms of his clout. But let me know in the comment section, man, what y'all think, all right? But while you guys is at it, don't forget to click on this video right here. Check it out. I'm going to see you guys in this video, right?